Okay, Michelle, welcome back.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us again. We're going to do a demonstration which is associated with timeline techniques, NLP timeline techniques. And we talked about the fact that with regard to timeline techniques, the best things that it's useful for in terms of change are for changing negative emotions and limiting decisions. And we're going to look at negative emotions. And for negative emotions, the 5 main negative emotions that are most powerful in our lives tend to be anger, sadness, fear, hurt, and guilt. Okay. And you've told me that you thought that anger was something that occurred in your life occasionally when you didn't want it. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So we're going to get rid of anger.
Excellent.
Excellent. Okay. Right. Let's do that now then.
Okay.
Okay, Michelle. If I were to ask your unconscious mind where your past is and where your future is, I've got an idea that you might say that, it's from right to left, or front to back, or up to down, or in some direction from you in relation to your body. And it's not your conscious concept that I'm interested in, it's your unconscious.
Yes.
So if I were to ask your unconscious mind, where's your past, to what direction would you point? To your left?
Yes.
Okay, great. And your future, what direction would you point if I asked your unconscious mind where your future is?
To the right.
To your right. Okay, thank you very much. So your past is on your left and your future's on your right.
Yes.
Therefore, the whole of your timeline is actually out in front of you. Is that right? Okay, that's great. Right. Now, just ask you a question before we start. Is it all right for your unconscious mind for you to release this emotion of anger today and for you to be aware of it consciously?
Yes.
Thank you. So, what would you say is the root cause of this problem? The first event which, when disconnected, will cause the problem to disappear? If you were to know, was it before, during, or after your birth?
After.
After. Okay. If you were to know, what age were you?
5.
You were 5 years old. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Michelle, so what we're going to do now is we're going to actually do the procedure. And this is going to involve you going back to the time when you were 5 years old in your mind. Okay. So what I'm going to ask you to do in a second is just imagine that you've got your timeline out in front of you,
Yes.
and we're going to do a journey along your timeline back to this time at 5 years old. Okay. So you can do this with your eyes open, or you can do this with your eyes closed. Most people prefer and relax better to do it with their eyes closed.
I'll do it with my eyes closed.
Okay, thanks very much. So, just when you're ready, take a few deep breaths in and out, that's right. And just float up above your timeline and nice and high, float up into the air, well above your timeline. And when you get above your timeline, then just notice your past and just float out into your past. Just float out into your past, and when you see the event approaching at 5 years old, just notice it and just stop before you get there and let me know when you're there. You're there. Okay, lovely. Now, just float to the position which is directly above the event so that you're actually looking down on the event. And ask your unconscious mind what it needs to learn from the event, the learning of which will allow you to let go of the emotions easily and effortlessly. Your unconscious mind can preserve the learnings so that if you need them in the future, they'll be there. Just take the learnings. Take the learnings. Let me know when you have some learnings.
I've got them.
Okay, do you want to tell me what they are?
The learnings.
Yeah.
Are that it isn't always about me, it's about that other person.
Okay. So just ask your unconscious mind what it needs to learn from the event, the learning of which will allow you to let go of these emotions easily and effortlessly. And you can preserve the learnings so that if you need them in the future, they'll be there for you.
Do you want me to tell you what they are?
Yes, please.
That I don't need to take responsibility for other people.
Okay. That's great. Just take any more learnings that might be there. Any more learnings that might be there. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what they are.
That if you're ignored, it doesn't mean that people don't care about you.
That's right. That's right. Just take the learnings. That's right.
And sometimes what I expect is too much for other people to give.
Yeah. Any more? That's all your learnings. Okay, so what I'd like you to do now is I'd just like you to go out into your past again and go to a position just before the event, above and before the event, and look back towards now and make sure that you're well before any of the chains of events that led up to that event at 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And ask yourself, now, where are the emotions?
I haven't got any.
They're gone. That's right. So just float down inside of the event and looking through your own eyes and check on the emotions. Are they there? Or have they disappeared now?
They've gone.
They've gone. That's right. Good. So just go back up into the air, back to 15 minutes before any of the chain of events. Float back up there. And when you've got back above your timeline, just float back towards now. Just come back to now, above your timeline, only as quickly as you can let go of all the anger on the events, all the way back to now. Just stop before each one of the events and preserve the learnings and let go of the anger all the way back to now. All the way back to now.
Mm-hmm.
Are you back at now?
Mm-hmm.
And float down into now and come back into the room. Take a deep breath. Thank you. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, good. That seemed to work quite well for you.
Mm.
Okay, great. So, can you remember any event in the past where you used to be able to feel anger?
Mm.
Just when you're ready, just go back to that time and notice if you can feel anger.
No.
You can't feel it?
No.
Fantastic. Great, okay. Thinking about the future then, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to you can do this again with your eyes closed if you want, and just float up into the air, up above your timeline, and float out into the future to an unspecified time in the future, but one where if it had have happened in the past, you'd have felt inappropriate or unwarranted anger,
Mm-hmm.
and just notice if you can feel that old emotion. Well, you might find that you can't. No? Okay, that's great. Okay, brilliant. Well, just come back to now. Oh, you're here already. That's fantastic. Thanks very much. So, that seems to be all in order then, Michelle.
Thank you.
Thank you.